As a security leader, you're not just responsible for securing technology. You're also expected to help protect intellectual property and ensure software and asset usage complies with licensing laws and organizational policies. In today's digital business environment, intellectual property is one of your organization's most valuable assets, and also one of its most easily abused or mismanaged if you're not paying attention. Let's break down what licensing and IP management really means for you in your role. As a security leader, you're responsible not just for protecting networks and systems, but also for safeguarding one of your organization's most valuable assets: intellectual property. IP refers to creations of the mind, things like inventions, designs, source code, brand elements, business strategies, and more. Your role includes making sure this intellectual capital is properly secured, lawfully used, and never exposed through negligence or ignorance. There are 4 main categories of intellectual property you need to be comfortable with, and each comes with its own responsibilities. Copyright protects original creative works such as software code, technical documentation, designs, training materials, and other content. You must ensure that your team respects copyright laws, especially when reusing third-party resources. Copy-pasting code from online repositories without proper licensing or permission can land your organization in legal trouble. Patent protection applies to unique inventions, algorithms, and technical processes. Your role is to help protect your organization's patented technology from theft or duplication, while also ensuring you don't unintentionally infringe on the patents of others. That means working closely with legal and engineering teams when developing or deploying new systems. Trademark covers brand identifiers like logos, taglines, and product names. These assets are deeply tied to your organization's reputation. You're expected to prevent unauthorized use or misrepresentation that could lead to brand dilution or legal disputes, especially in marketing or third-party collaborations. Trade secrets refer to internal information that provides your business a competitive edge, like customer lists, pricing models, formulas, or internal workflows. You must implement strict access controls, encrypt sensitive data, and enforce non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, to prevent leaks or insider threats. Once a trade secret is exposed, it can rarely be protected again. Understanding these categories helps you reduce legal exposure when your teams are working with proprietary tools, open source libraries, or third-party services. It also enables you to build stronger governance policies around software use and digital asset protection. As a security leader, you're expected to treat intellectual property not just as a legal checkbox, but as a strategic security responsibility. When you recognize, respect, and actively protect IP, you help your organization preserve innovation, maintain compliance, and defend its competitive edge in a rapidly evolving digital world. As a security leader, you're not just managing risks. You're ensuring that your organization operates legally and ethically in how it uses software and digital tools. Software licensing defines the legal boundaries of how your organization can use, share, or modify applications. If you overlook licensing obligations, you're not just breaking the rules. You could be exposing the business to costly audits, fines, or legal action. Let's walk through the most common software license types you'll encounter so you can lead your teams with clarity and compliance. Commercial licenses are the most traditional form. You pay for the right to use the software under specific terms, usually outlined in a contract or EULA, means End User License Agreement. As a security professional, it's your responsibility to ensure that your team uses these products within the limits of the license, whether that's per user, per device, or by functionality. Freeware may seem like a gift, but it comes with fine print. These tools are free to use, but that doesn't mean you can modify or redistribute them. Always check the license before deploying freeware in enterprise environments. It may be free in cost, but not always free in terms of control or use. Shareware is often a trial-based model. You can try the software for free, but long-term use usually requires a paid license. As a security leader, you must ensure that no one in your organization continues using shareware beyond the permitted trial period without purchasing a license. Open source software offers great flexibility. It's free to use, modify, and distribute. However, every open source tool comes with its own license terms, like GPL, MIT, or Apache. These licenses may require you to attribute the author, disclose source code, or even apply the same license to your derivative work. Failing to comply could result in IP violations, even if the tool was free. You should be particularly cautious about situations where developers copy code from forums like GitHub or Stack Overflow. If your teams don't check the associated license, you could unknowingly violate intellectual property laws. Your role as a security leader includes being a gatekeeper of responsible software use. That means promoting license awareness, validating third-party components with legal or procurement teams, and leading by example when it comes to respecting digital rights. Licensing isn't just paperwork, it's protection. When you get it right, you keep your organization compliant, secure, and out of legal hot water. As a security leader, you're not only responsible for understanding intellectual property and software licensing, you're also expected to enforce policies and minimize risk across the organization. That means you play a proactive role in ensuring that your teams don't just have the right intentions, they take the right actions. You may be asked to support or lead license audits, ensuring all deployed software complies with licensing agreements. This involves checking what's installed, verifying usage rights, and resolving discrepancies before they turn into legal issues. You also need to monitor for unauthorized software installations. Whether it's pirated applications or unapproved freeware, any rogue software could introduce security risks or violate licensing terms. Implementing system monitoring tools and maintaining strict application whitelisting is part of your job. Another critical area is preventing the leakage of trade secrets and proprietary information. You're expected to implement controls like DLP, data loss prevention, encryption, and strict access policies to ensure confidential data doesn't walk out the door intentionally or accidentally. Finally, when third parties misuse your organization's IP, whether it's copied content, stolen code, or unauthorized brand usage, you must collaborate with legal counsel. Your role is to supply technical evidence, investigate violations, and support any steps needed to protect the organization's rights. Remember, many IP violations don't come from hackers. They come from well-meaning employees who simply don't understand the rules. That's why your role as an educator is just as important as your role as an enforcer. Build awareness, communicate expectations clearly, and create a culture where compliance is second nature, not an afterthought. So, what's your leadership takeaway? Licensing and intellectual property may not seem technical, but they are deeply tied to your responsibilities as a trusted security professional. In a world where information and innovation are your organization's lifeblood, protecting IP is protecting value. As a CISSP or CISSP, you're expected to help your organization stay legal, ethical, and secure, not just in the way you configure systems, but in how your teams use, share, and create intellectual assets.